I've had the honor of being a good friend and a coworker of Scott for the past 12 years. If what I have to say today doesn't seem well thought out or put together, it's because I often relied on Scott to help me fine-tune what I had to say, and I know he would have had some good quality input for today. He provided good input into my life since the day I met him. He was a great mentor to me, both at work and in my personal life. Any tears today are not tears of sadness, they're truly tears of love, because I will miss him. We met in the middle of the week at our oldest girls' school play. They were in second grade at the time. We were in the back of the classroom, and I remember him asking me, "So what affords you to be here at 10:30 a.m. on a Wednesday morning?" I explained to him that I was involved in the sales of x-ray supplies, but was currently seeking a new career. He suggested to me at that time I consider a career in insurance. His being at this play in the middle of the week was just a small example of his dedication to his girls. He loved you so much. While visiting over the last few weeks and months, it's been very nice to see you guys spending so much time together. Shortly after that initial conversation at that play, I began my career in commercial insurance at the company where Scott was working, ACP Insurance. Once hired, I had the distinct opportunity of job shadowing with Scott for approximately 6 months as I learned the commercial insurance business. This time together really cemented our friendship, and we discovered we had many similar interests. Scott held the CPCU designation, which means, for those of you that aren't in insurance, Chartered Property Casualty Underwriter. In the insurance world, that is only held by the best of the best. Hear that as lots of study, lots of school, and blah, blah, blah. He worked at a company that would pay for his education. Seriously, though, Scott was the smartest broker I have ever met. He was so technically savvy, you could ask him any insurance coverage question, and he would always know the answer. You might think that's the norm in insurance, but it isn't. Scott talked fast. I mean really fast. He was the fastest talking insurance broker I know. I don't mean that in a negative way, though. He was so smart and he processed so quickly that many struggled just to keep up with what he was saying. There were many times at our broker meetings that he would talk and others would be in the back of the room and say, "What did he say? Can you repeat that?" Scotty worked hard, but he knew how to have fun at work. There are so many examples of his shenanigans that any of us that knew him there would easily smile and chuckle when we think of the stories. Whether he was rearranging someone's office when they were out, putting a large trash can or a huge Remington statue on someone's desk, or even forwarding somebody's phone directly to the president of the company. I remember a time at one of his appointments when a client looked at his email address on his card. It's slihme@acpinsurance.com. And the guy looks at the card and he looks at Scott and he looks back and he says, "Finally, somebody that's honest about it. Slimy. Get it?" We laughed for days. He made work so much fun. Scott frequently said, "All joking is fine and fair, except for 2 things that are off limits. Don't negatively affect my business, and don't joke about my family." Connie, he loved you so much. I was reminded of your wedding day this week and how beautiful it was and how happy he was. He cared for you so much, Kelsey and Cassidy. And Sam, Michael, David, and Tim, I remember when Scott married your mom. He was so concerned that you guys would accept him. He really loved you. Even while having so much fun at work, Scott really was an incredible mentor. He was a natural at the role, and he built into several people's lives, teaching them insurance and life at the same time. He was always willing to help and teach, taking time to make sure each person on his team was the best they could be. He was gifted in his ability to teach in a manner people could learn from. But it was more than that. When you were off track, Scott was willing to risk the relationship to tell you you were screwed up. He always knew how to phrase something so that people could understand it. As Scott faced his battle with cancer, he was truly a mentor in how to live by faith. Scott never gave up hope, and I never found him discouraged or angry. Each time I visited, he would share with me, "I'm not giving up, Ron, but I'm content with God's will." Scott's hope was in the Lord. As we're in the midst of this season of gift giving, I thought this Bible verse to be appropriate. Ephesians 2:8 tells us, "For it is by grace that you have been saved through faith. And it's not of your own doing, it is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast." A gift that Scott freely accepted from God, and because of that, I can be comforted that he is completely healed in heaven with his Savior. Scott was a dedicated husband, father, co-worker, mentor, and true friend. I am really thankful for him.